Well, good afternoon. In the sports arena, when you think of legends, you think of Babe Ruth or Michael Jordan, Arnold Palmer. The list can go on. And truly, we have a legend right here among us. The impact that Jeff has made on our sport is monumental. I think that is without question. And being a 5-time winner here at Bristol, 4-time champion, what he's done for the sport, for Bristol Motor Speedway, and for the race fans, we asked ourselves, what do you do for somebody like that? How do you give him something to show our respect for what you've done for this sport and done for us for so many years? You've got everything. But in true Bruton Smith fashion, Marcus Smith fashion, you got to make it big. So you deserve to be among the legends here in Bristol with the greats Darrell Waltrip and Cale Yarborough, Junior Johnson, and Dale Earnhardt. So Jeff Gordon deserves his own grandstand. In 2016, we will have Jeff Gordon terrace level at Bristol Motor Speedway on the back stretch.
Man, that's awesome. Thank you. Thanks very much. Wow, very cool. That's awesome. Thank you. Gosh, that means the world to me. This place is awesome, and I love coming here. I've enjoyed competing here, but this is one of those tracks that it brings the fan out in all of us, and for you to honor me this way means so much to me, and I get to enjoy this honor for years to come, and so I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of what I've accomplished here, and can't thank you enough.
Well, you're certainly welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And, of course, everybody here, I think, knows Jerry Caldwell, the Executive Vice President, General Manager here at Bristol Motor Speedway, and obviously Jeff Gordon. Jeff, you've been given lots of tokens, and I'm not going to ask you to rank this one, but I can
keep getting better. I can tell you that, Doug. That's pretty big. That's pretty big. When I keep saying I don't think he can top that. Everybody, the tracks are competitive just like we are on the track. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
And I know also, Jerry, the new program cover for here, I think you've got one of them up here, so I'll give you a reason to show that off.
Absolutely. I thought some of Sam's finest work to go back to that throwback paint scheme. What a cool paint scheme to be able to put on the high banks here at Bristol. It's got such great memories with you. We were proud to have that.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of Sam for creating that paint scheme to begin with, and all the way back to DuPont and now Axalta. I give them a tremendous amount of credit for bringing this back, and the fans. I mean, the fans have spoken. I thought driving the rainbow paint scheme was in my rearview mirror, but the fans overwhelmingly fought for it and wanted to see it one more time, and thanks to Axalta for making that happen. Now, what I love is if you get close up to it, it shows some of their modern technology and coatings. It's a little fancier than it used to be, so it's very cool. I was very proud this morning to not only see all the cool gear from what all the fans were sporting out there, but to hop in that car, to see it sitting there. You forget how this car made an impact back in the day, and now as I got in the car, I don't get to see it on the track. I'm driving it. You can't miss this car on the track. It just stands out. And luckily, when we ran this car in the early mid-'90s, it stood out. It turned a lot of people into fans. That are still lifelong fans, and those people are the ones that are so grateful to have this car back on the track. But I am too. I was really proud to get behind the wheel. Thank you, Jerry.
Did it give you any sense of nostalgia when you rolled in here today and saw it? And
it will if we pull into Victory Lane tomorrow night.
We'll change that 5-time winner to 6-time winner.
That'd be fine with me. I love competing here no matter what the car is. But when you've got a car that you've had tremendous success here, as far as the paint scheme goes, and we've run really well here recently. I mean, I always feel solid when I come here to Bristol, no matter what is happening with the rules and track changes and competition. I always feel good when we come here. And we proved that when we were here earlier this year. So to follow that up with a paint scheme that you just feel good about, any little thing that you can add to your team to give you that little extra boost. The team's really excited about this as well.
All right, let's go ahead and open this up for questions from the floor. Raise your hand, and you guys all know the drill. Please state your name and your affiliation, and we'll try to get as many people as we can. I saw Ben White's hand go up first, so Ben, you're first up in the batting order.
Thanks, Jeff. I realize we're talking Bristol here, but I need to talk to you about Kansas for just a minute also while I have you, and I apologize for the timing. But you got 3 wins at Kansas. Just a thought or two about going there for the last time also, and what success that you've had there at Kansas Speedway.
That's an odd question, Ben. I haven't even thought about Kansas. My mind's on Bristol right now. Well, obviously, I hope we get ourselves in the chase, and so we can go and compete at Kansas for a championship. So that's what's on my mind for Kansas. I always have loved that track. I love the configuration of the track. Even though it's 1.5 miles, it has just a little bit different transitions from straightaway to corner. That is just a track that I've always enjoyed. So glad to know we're going to be running rules that we've already raced there once, and hopefully we can make some improvements and perform a little bit better there.
All right, we'll go over here to Jonathan, and then Woody, and then over to Dustin.
Jonathan Merriman, NASCAR.com. Jeff, got the helmet, got the car. Any chance we'll see a Rainbow Warrior fire suit or crew uniforms this weekend, or are we going with the Blue Exalt stuff?
I thought the car was enough. Yeah, forgive me if I'm not sporting a mustache and a.
That's what I was pulling for, the throwback stash.
It looks like Larson's got the making of a mustache. If he just shaves the rest of whatever he's got growing there, then I'll let him, be nostalgic for me there. Yeah, I mean the car looks so darn good. I didn't think we needed everything else. So I do have a special helmet paint scheme that I'm really proud of. I think it looks really cool, but it is more of a modern version.
All right, let's go over to Woody.
Jeff, Woody came with MRN. I'll stick with Ben. Looking ahead a couple weeks to Darlington, you do this whole retro thing all over again. How cool is it for that event to be a retro theme in your last appearance there and all the nostalgia and history that's going to be associated with it? That's going to be pretty cool for you, I guess, huh?
Are we running yeah, we're not doing anything.
I mean, just everybody in general.
I love what the others are doing, and I kind of wish that we were doing a little bit more retro paint scheme, but I've heard and seen what some of the other teams are doing, and I think it's really, really cool. The Southern 500 Labor Day weekend is that's that definitely is a throwback, and it it's going to be hot. I know that, and slick, and that's also going to bring back a lot of thoughts and memories of the races that I've run at Darlington over the years.
We'll go to Dustin, then we'll go back here, and then over to Mark Garrow, and then right over here.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. I know for you it's about winning races, competing for championships. Where are you as you look toward being a championship team at this point? Right now, where do you see your team?
Yeah, you gotta work at it one step at a time. I think that we know that we're behind. I think we're behind as an organization. I think we're behind as the 24 team. I think that if we can run to our potential, or even what I think we're capable of right now, I think that we make the chase. What happens when we get in the chase? Who knows? When you get a reset, there's some tracks that are very good tracks for us in the chase. Does that put us in the championship contender mode? I don't know. We got a lot of work to do to do that. We're missing some speed. and we're working hard to try to find it. It's very competitive out there, and some other organizations have gotten ahead of us, and you don't just find that overnight. But it's certainly not from a lack of effort. But we're in the position that we're in right now, not because we're not performing well enough. It's because we're having, the brake line at Watkins Glen, the getting caught up in that wreck at Indianapolis. I mean, just things that are a little bit out of our control. And so, if we can just do what I think we're capable of doing, we make it in. Then we get a reset, take a breath, and then see what we can go do there. But we're not where we want to be.
How much of a concern is it? Because obviously, the last several weeks, it's been different packages, tracks that are not necessarily going to be in the chase. So, are people reading too much that there's too much of an issue, or how do you look at with what all the different things that you guys have had to deal with? I mean, these are things you're not going to deal with per se in the chase.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, we're realists. We see it, but yeah, what you can't base it off of everything. You can't base it off Indy and Michigan. I can tell you that. That those packages are, out the window and don't show what I think we're fully capable of, or what anybody really has. But we're still not where we need to be, even with the 15 package. So the one thing about Hendrick Motorsports is that what makes us so great is the effort that we put in, and the people that we have are capable of doing a lot, and you don't ever count us out.
I've been told we've got some local media in the upstairs press box, so let's go there. Crystal, go ahead and open that up, please.
City Press. Jeff, it's been about 8 months since your announcement that you're going to retire at the end of this season. Are you still satisfied with that, or now that you're getting closer, is there some second thoughts about that?
Well, if you base it off of what's happening on the track solely, then maybe you would think that. But if I can just kind of step back from I'm very competitive. I want to be competitive, far more competitive than we've been this year. But if I just take one step back from that, this has been one of the best years I've ever had. Things like this, just reminiscing with longtime friends and family and people that have been a part of my career. Just interacting with the fans, talking with the media. This is a highlight of my career. I've thoroughly enjoyed many aspects of this year, and I have no second thoughts about it at all. I'm very much looking forward to the future, but I'm also looking forward to working my butt off to try to give this team everything that I've got this year to close it out the best we can.
We'll jump back upstairs in a minute. We had a question back here. Can you raise your hand again? Then we'll get over to Mark, and then we'll run upstairs.
Hey, Jeff, it's Hunter Thomas from thefourthturn.com. You have a number of wins between Bristol and Darlington. Do you think there'll be any extra emotion as you finish these last two races?
Well, if we're running better, you got to understand that I chose to take this path in this season because I wanted to close it out while I'm still competitive. And last year was an amazing year. And actually, this kind of goes back to that last question. If we were winning races on a regular basis right now, that would make it a little harder to accept than it is right now, the way things have been going. I feel like I still have what it takes. I feel like our team does, but we're just missing some components. But you can go to a track like Bristol, Darlington, Martinsville. There's just certain tracks that some of the components that some of our competitors are beating us with don't play as big of a role. And like a road course as well. We don't have any road courses left. Talladega. Those are tracks that we can still win on, and if we find a few things within our organization car that we're missing, then we might be able to win at other tracks too. But I'm so focused on that right now that I'm not thinking about anything else, and that's why it's going to hit me like a ton of bricks at Homestead. But I don't think it's going to hit me really much up until then, unless we win.
Mark Garrow, PRN. Jeff, can you talk a little bit about your first reaction when you first walked in to Bristol and what, you've won here 5 times. Just is there a number one highlight as well that you'll remember about this racetrack?
Yeah, this track probably impacts me more today when I walk in here than it did the first time. The first time I was like, wow, this is cool. But you got to understand, I raced at places like Winchester and Salem. So the banking of the track was not what caught me off guard. It was the grandstands. It was how it's built on this in these mountains and just the fans and the fact of what stock cars can do on a track like this. That definitely got my attention. Of course, back then. And I go back to back then, we used to have U-Haul trucks to bring stuff over, and so, and I was one of the guys kind of helping them do that, and boy, how things have changed now with tunnels and bus lots, and the grandstands are bigger and greater than they've ever been as well. So, and then they're going to have a football game here. I see that's going to be pretty awesome too. So this place is impressive. There's no doubt about it. And it was the first time, but I think now I just have a greater appreciation for what goes on here and what's been created here and what it means to our sport to have this track and to our fans. And so every time I come here, the night before the weekend starts, I come out here and I walk the track. And I was out here when they were parking the trucks last night, and I saw the fans out here, and that was so cool just to see them that excited about trucks coming in and parking, and it's a special track.
Jared, does he get a friend and family discount?
He's got his own grandstand.
That's what I'm saying.
He gets whatever he wants.
All right, Darren.
Jeff, you were one of the first drivers to use those commemorative paint schemes. Could you talk about how those resonated with fans back early in those days, and also how the rainbow paint scheme kind of helped your popularity back when you first hit the scene?
Explain what you mean about commemorative paint schemes.
For special promotions. I know you did Jurassic Park cars, stuff like that. I mean, just how did that resonate with fans, and then just the rainbow in general?
Well, that had everything to do with the whole diecast market. The diecast market exploded back in the mid-'90s, and Earnhardt Sr. had a lot to do with that. Fred Wagenhals and Action Performance, and so they were coming to a lot of drivers and teams wanting to do these one-off special paint schemes and promotions, and it was really cool and sold a lot of die-cast, and the fans really reacted to it, and I think we actually flooded the market and ruined the market in so many ways because of that. So I don't know if it was just the demand was there and it's not as much there today, but it was fun being a part of some of those promotions, and looking back on it, I think we all enjoyed it. But I definitely like the throwback paint schemes, and when you've been in the sport as long as I have been, you've had a lot of different paint schemes, and it's fun to go back to those and bring back some great memories.
All right, gentlemen over here on the floor, then we'll go here, and I think that's going to be about all the time that we've got.
Jeff, Rich Iceland with Inside Track. We've talked about nostalgic in the past. We've talked about Kansas in the future. How do you feel after today's practice about tomorrow's race?
Well, it was a unique and interesting practice session because we saw the Xfinity Series was up high against the wall right away, and a lot of times in the past couple of years when we've come here, it's taken a while to get the groove up there, and sometimes we didn't see it as much in practice, but yet that's where we spent most of the time in the race. And so we want to work up there. We want to get the cars up there and see what it's doing to give us more information for how to tune the car for tomorrow night. And so we were up there a lot, and but it's during the heat of the day, so you got to be a little careful not to fool yourself with some of those things. I think we're a good chance we'll be qualifying up there as well, and I thought our car was good. I thought it was really solid, but I think we got to make it better.
I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
And right over here.
Jay Pennell with Fox Sports. You talk about needing to get better, and you guys know that you have tracks coming up that you can win at, but are you feeling the added pressure of needing to get a win, not only to get in the chase or solidify your spot in the chase, but because this is your last year and you only have 13 races left?
Yeah, I mean, I want to win. There's no doubt about it. I always want to win. And our team, Hendrick Motorsports, when you drive for Hendrick Motorsports, every season there's always pressure to win because you know that you're with one of the best organizations. And I feel like we've had a few opportunities that have slipped away from us, like Martinsville. But we got another Martinsville coming up, which I'm excited about. We've got Bristol. This is a track that we ran very well at earlier in the year. So there's some tracks that we can win at. If you look at the stats and you look at our performance. But I'm not going to let that ruin this year, for me or add any more pressure than there already is. We're doing everything we possibly can to be the best we can be, to communicate, work together, and come out of this thing, knowing that we gave it everything that we've got. And so we don't need a win. A win would be nice. And a win would certainly make things a little easier over these next couple of weeks. But, when you say need a win, I've won 92 times. I don't need a win. I want to win. That's all.
Well, Jeff, it'll be cool when you're back up here in the spring. You're working for Fox Television. You'll be able to look across the way and see the Jeff Gordon Terrace. That ought to be a good experience for you.
Oh, absolutely. For years, I've been a part of this sport where I go to different tracks, Bristol certainly being one of the highlights, and you see a driver's name, on that grandstand, and you only hope that one day that you've maybe done something significant enough to earn that. And you just did that for me here today in Bruton, and all the folks here at Bristol. It means the world to me. So thank you very much. And I did the Xfinity race with Fox here earlier in the year, and this was a fun one to do. So I'm looking forward to doing 500 laps around this place with DW and Mike up in the booth next year.
Well, fantastic. Thank you for your time. Jerry, a closing comment here before we turn Jeff loose?
No, just go get them. I want to see that rainbow paint scheme in Victory Lane.
You and a lot of other people.